Hey guys, it's me Astrid, and today we're just gonna go ahead and do an experiment because a professor at my school gave me this cymbidium. I don't know much about cymbidiums, but I do know that this one is in kind of rough shape, so I want to clean it up, break all the bad stuff off, and get this repotted in the same pot, so hopefully it's going to grow. Now I do have some concerns because on some of the new growths the centers are growing in dry, though I think I pulled those out, but other new growths here do have some healthy roots, a few green root tips, and so on. And all these roots sticking out of the pot are super firm. So this plant might have a chance. Now, we're probably not going to see an update because this plant won't stay with me, but we're going to have fun in the process. And if you see any mess in my room right now, I am moving like this weekend, so I'm just like, fuck it, I don't need to worry about it. Anyway, let's get started. So what I'm first going to do is unpot this orchid. I've never done an orchid this big before, but it's basically probably going to be the same. I'm going to squeeze the sides of the pot really hard. Oops. Or snap the pot and break it. That's a bad idea, Astrid. And now on the bottom there are a few of these roots that are going to keep it tied in, so I'm just gonna pull these apart and break them off because it's only a few. It's not going to hurt the plant so bad. Alright, so here's the moment of truth. What's going on? Oh my Lord Jesus. Guys, look at this root ball. This is a nightmare. This plant has a lot of mushy roots. You can see I'm just going like this. These are mushy, and if I pull them, they're just pulling off like paper. And that's kind of what's going on upstairs in the plant too. So I'm going to be a little heartless in ripping this all apart, and we're just going to get rid of all this dead stuff. I'm going to get all of this dead stuff gone. Ooh, look at that. It's just crumbling out. Wow. Wow, look at this. I'm really impressed with this root ball, though. I've never seen one quite so pot-bound. Additionally, I'm kind of pulling a Danny today and wearing gloves because one of the orchids that was given to me by this person had some moldy potting mix, and I just didn't want to touch it. And this one looks like it had been in the pot for so many years that there's no telling what's in here. But look at these roots. Look, they're just pulling right apart. They're like paper ripping off. If it's doing stuff like this, you're guaranteed that it's a dead root. But we don't want to break off any of the firm roots or any roots that have green or light colored growing tips, because those are what the plant is building up, making new for itself. Okay, but look right here. We have a happy, healthy, new root. It's nice and firm, so I'm going to do my best not to break or disturb that guy. But, oh, do you hear this? Wow, this is one of the funnest repots I ever did. Now, okay, so like I said, I'm going to speed this up. Now, just watch me, because I'm going to be careful to avoid pulling off what I think are healthier roots. This one's kind of firm. It's looking kind of terrible, but it's still firm, so I might leave that intact. But just watch the roots pull apart. Look at what is bad about this, and you'll learn a lot just watching. So we're gonna speed up. Okay, so we can see some bulbs that have grown up here, but these are absolutely dead. So I'm going to twist them off, because when you pull off old bad bulbs, what happens is the roots all attached to them just pull out of the knot tangle of roots. So you will have an easier time going through. So we're just going to twist twist. And we got a whole bunch of roots out of our way. And we're going to do that again with these bulbs here. Twist, twist, twist. Oh my Lord. So some roots came out. Sometimes it works really, really well. Other times it only pulls a few, but it's all, the more picking you do, the better. That's my life motto, honestly. Okay, now here's the point where I'm going to be really careful. You see we've got this healthy new root and this healthy new root, and I'm just going to be kind of like an archaeologist as much as I can be, just kind of delicately digging out these little precious roots, getting all the bad stuff away from them, because the more bad stuff we dig away and peel off, the better. And you can definitely see the difference between these healthy white roots and all the dead roots we've been pulling off so far. It becomes really easy once you've been digging for a while to tell. Okay, well this whole thing is gone. Look at this. This is what I mean by pulling off old growths. All these roots come off. Okay. Look at this, amazing, amazing. So, not only not we have any bugs or creepy bugs in here yet. Please Lord Jesus, help me find a Cymbidium or something. Also, there's no slugs, I haven't seen any fresh root, just bitten off, so that's good. This might just need some TLC. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the scissors, start cutting. Sometimes you can only cut because the roots don't break off that easily, but this time I'm just, I just like to break it apart because there was too much to start untangling and cutting at. It was easier to just break it. Ooh, look at this. Look at this old bulb. Ew. 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 Wow, look at that. So when you're pulling these stuff apart like old orchids, sometimes you find these stringy hairy mats. I'm pretty sure it's like the old pseudobulbs. Old bulbs kind of get like that. Wow, this is something else though. Look at that. Look at that little imagine there with your car. I'm just going to break this whole old stuff off. See how it's wiggling free? The more I pull and twist gently, the more it's coming loose. And see, it took all this old stuff out with it, and now we're almost done cleaning up this plant. We are almost done. Look at how delicately I'm just pinching the old stuff out from between these new healthy roots. We don't want old stuff rotting our roots, although I don't really know that just having old roots rots them, because this whole thing was full of old dead roots and nothing was rotten. So I don't know that I buy that hypothesis, but it is good to clean up your roots because you will begin to see the healthy roots when you take away all the dead ones. Okay, this is also a dead bulb. Oh, it was a little bit living. It was a little bit living. You see that? But I don't think it's really worth salvaging. Same with this guy. They're not really so fried, they're not providing anything really good for the plant, no nutrients or anything, so I'm just gonna remove. And let's just peel all this old dead stuff off too. Because when we peel this off, maybe we'll see what's living and green underneath. Ooh, for example, check that out. 2 new little growths coming. That's good news. There's an old bulb. Yellow. I don't know, some kinds of orchids, their old bulbs turn yellow. I think like Stanhope orchids do that, but not all orchids do that. So just learn about your individual type of orchid before you freak out about a yellowing old bulb. P.S. You might have just heard me say Stanhopa, and I was told in my orchid society by a very knowledgeable guy that the guy who named these orchids was named Stanhope. Stanhope, H-O-P-E. So though it looks like Stanhopea, it's supposed to be pronounced Stanhopa because that's his name. No, sorry. Just gonna all the napkins out. Say goodbye. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Okay, so, gosh, wow, what an adventure we've just been on. We can see it has this new growth here, which is good. It has some bulges on its little pseudobulbs. You can see some bulges where new roots might want to come out. This one has some new eyes, although it looks like this new growth might be dying. I'm not sure. It has some more little new potential growths able to come up, and these roots are all really firm, not mushy, so I know not to cut these. And this little bunch of roots is really encouraging. It's got lots of nice root tips. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this orchid, I'm going to repot it in the same pot because it didn't seem to have any disease or whatever, and the lady asked me to put it in the same pot. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just wiping this pot down so it looks nice when I give it back to the lady that I'm doing this for. Now we've got this big old pot, and I've heard cymbidiums, they like a good draining soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these leftover packing peanuts and I'm going to fill the bottom with those. So now my thing is I kind of want to start using leca beads in the bottoms of my pots because they'll do the same thing, same with lava rock. They'll save me from wasting a bunch of potting mix, and they'll keep the plant well drained and aerated. But the thing is I just don't have them. The problem I'm finding with styrofoam is that it doesn't break down, that's fine, but it is really light. So when you pot a plant, it can get top heavy, and that's annoying because the plant always wants to tip over, and you're like, hey plant, don't tip over, and it's like, but you made me so top heavy, so what am I supposed to do? So here we go, we got this here. Now I'm going to get some wet sphagnum moss because I like to work with wet sphagnum moss, so I'm just going to take some out of my bag, stuff it in this water. It absorbs water really quickly, so. Because as much as I think these orchids like to have a good draining mix, they probably also want to maintain some moisture along their roots. So I'm just gonna fill that with water. Look at that, beautiful. Love me some sphagnum moss, I love it. When we pot this orchid, we're gonna pot it so the new growths are going forward. This has a very clear back bulb and a very clear direction it's going. It's coming from this direction forward and out. So I'll put the oldest bulbs, I'll hold them right on the edge of this pot, so it's got plenty of room to fill this pot for the next few years. Gonna lay a little bit of sphagnum moss, and I've never potted a cymbidium, so I have no idea if I'm doing the right thing, but I'm going kind of on my intuition. So I just put a very light layer of sphagnum moss there. It'll hold a little bit of moisture above those packing peanuts. Now, I'm using Better Grow Special Orchid Mix. This is awesome. Check this out. Comes right in a bag. It's in good shape. It's not like other potting mixes that are bad. And the nice thing is you can look on the side of the bag and see what it looks like inside. I've had bad luck with store potting mixes, but this is a good one. So I'm going to start by putting a little bit of this potting mix down because sometimes the roots just like block you from putting the potting mix in, which is annoying. So I'm going to hold the plant really firmly over here. Just going to take this And I'm going to add handfuls of this big chunky bark mix, and then I'm going to add some very light layers of the sphagnum moss because I feel like the cymbidium probably likes a little bit of moisture around its roots, but not too much. We're going to keep it light with the sphagnum. See how that's mixed in? It's still really light. Danny, you're so smart with the gloves. Honestly, this is keeping me from getting splinters, and I'm pleased. I'm pleased about it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Danny is Miss Orchid Girl. If you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. There's lots of wonderful orchid channels on YouTube and lots of lovely people in the gardening community. So sometimes I have a tendency to get like empty spaces toward the back of the pot where I'm holding the plant. So I'm just going to take some mix and shove it down. And I kind of like to pack my plants down, so some orchid growers don't want to pack it. I like to pack it, and it's all up to you. Now, because I suspect a cymbidium wants a little bit more moisture, I'm just going to put a layer of the remaining sphagnum moss I have. I'm just going to put that over the top. One, it'll look kind of nice, and two, I think it'll help the plant retain a little bit of moisture and hopefully be a happy little camper. Although I put sphagnum moss over the tops of lots of plants that I'm trying to encourage to root out a bit more, so even my cattleyas who like to dry out a little more or stuff like that, I still put sphagnum moss over the top of some. Okay, so all over the top. Let's have a look at our resulting plant, shall we? Can you see this? This is just like looking super good, totally cleaned up. And if you flip back earlier in the video and compare it to what we had before, this is like a whole new plant. It is just looking so great. I'm really, really happy about it. So when you have an orchid new in a pot, you don't want it to wobble. Now, I might want to take some string or metal and just lay it down over this and hold the plant firmly in place so it can't wiggle at all, because that helps the plant feel stable to put roots down. But I got my handy dandy nail drill, and we're going to put some holes in this pot, and we're going to poke a stake through to hold the rhizome down. Now, some people call this a rhizome clip, and it will really help the plant to root itself down. Alright, so we're just going to take this, you could take a piece of metal or whatever, and we're just going to poke it through these holes on either side of the pot, wherever I poked them. So I'm just going to feed this up. And I'm going to find a space in the middle of the plant where this can go through, and just hold the plant firmly down so it does not wobble at all. Now in my Orchid Society, they call this a rhizome clip because you're kind of laying it over the rhizome. And now, feel this. This plant is not going anywhere. It's not sitting exactly where I want it to in the pot, but it still does have room to grow out on the sides. I'm okay with that, and hopefully it'll fill up this pot nicely. So yeah, we just got this clip in place, and I'm going to clamp off the edges, and voila! Here you have a finished repotted cymbidium plant. Now, I'm not an expert at cymbidiums. In fact, I know very little about them, but I use my intuition to repot it, and anyone who does cymbidiums, let me know if I did a good job here or not. I feel like this is going to be a healthy orchid if it has the time to recover now, and hopefully this will grow really well for the lady who let me fix it for her. Thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.